fast forward to 1995 or so, I met Allan's son Stuart, who is another guitar player with curly hair, living in Halifax, and I came up to him at one point in front of the Spring Garden Road Library, and I was like, so apparently our dads were in preschool together, and now we're both like floppy-haired guitar players in Halifax. What about that? He was like, don't say another word, let's get a beer. Anyway, fast forward again in 2006 or so, Allan is dying of cancer, and everybody knows it in the musical community. And so I was thinking about it, and I was looking forward to the Live at 5 TV special that was going to happen when he eventually passed. And it was going to be this dreary sort of intoning thing where Steve Murphy was going to be there, and Godfather of Celtic music has passed away and stuff like that. And to me, it just didn't seem like a fair epitaph for a guy who was dancing in the streets giddy with life. Like a dude who had this incessant smile on his face most of the time, at least in public. I don't know what he was like on his own, but he just seemed like a good guy. And I realized that I wasn't watching a musician die, I was watching a priest die. And if you have a father who's a priest, you recognize it at 20 paces, like it was coming off him like steam. And I wanted to sort of reimagine the narrative about his passing. So I wrote this tune about it. It was partly to cheer up his son Stuart, who's a buddy of mine, and it was also just like to turn it over in my head a little bit. And so I didn't want to write the guy a dirge. I wanted to write him a parade through the middle of town, because like, you know, he was the sort of dude who was like, you know, he made most of his career living out in like Ajax and Pickering and stuff like that. He'd be playing a show at like Massey Hall or something back in the 80s, and he'd get news like, you know, oh, Mrs. McInnes from Marguerite is not feeling well. She's in the hospital right now. And she'd really love it if you could just give her a little phone call and say, hello, how are you doing? And Allan would pack up his guitar and go straight out to the hospital in Pickering and like hang out with her and sing songs for like hours and hours and hours and stuff. And I liked what that said about his character. I wanted to, you know, instead of this leprechaun-y kind of thing, I wanted to sort of like drill down a little bit under what it was that made him do everything that he did. And so that's where this tune comes from. I wrote it in 2006, and a whole bunch of interesting things have happened because of it. Karma, I guess. Cape Bretoners tend to recognize certain things in it, so. There will be a great outpouring of sadness in the ocean of the nightly news, and an invisible marching of a casket through the streets and through the pews. And they will say all sorts of things about heritage and how you mine a vein of gold. But the greatest victory for a warrior is when he dies just from getting old, and he rises above it all. Rise above. You ride the bear of songs your whole life long, and now you get to ride the dove. And you will be memorialized with the pipes and the fiddles and buildings in good time. And all the while you're trying to get through to your engine stew, just to let them know you're fine. People will talk about the good times, good friends and hard times no one ever saw. But for a holy warrior, the only goal is to live and die with the grace of God. And then rise above it all. Rise above. We're all stars tied down to the earth, and then we all will join the stars above. Pull out the old guitar, strike up a tune. Let your light shine out with a chord, and a shout bounced off the moon. Everything that falls to the ground must rise to the sky. And you are the air and the wind and the salt and the tears we cry. And ain't it nice to know that you'll be hanging out with folks that you haven't seen in such a long time? Because the world's all changed, but it's still a lot the same. It's looking bad, but you can still be kind. It's nice to imagine you'll be up there teaching Stan Rogers how to play tar bitch over beers. And that's what we'll all do just to get ourselves through, because we don't know where we go from down here. But when I think about you, I'll give credit where it's due. It's a high road that makes a man. And as a better scribe wrote on a similar note, Godspeed, God bless, God damn. So all the people sing a wind in the willows in the churches, and politicians read scripted words. I will be going for a walk in the countryside and listen to the calling of the birds. I don't believe in death, just graduation. You cry for what's lost and rejoice in what's found. And may you rest in peace till we see you again in that world of light and sound. Now rise above us all, rise above. And for whatever it's worth, when your feet leave this earth, just go with our love. And we'll see you at the Glencoe Hall in the glint in their eyes. We'll see you in the wind, in the trees, and the Gaelic that survives. The world will go on as it does, but as a better place. For the love for your fellow man that shone forth from your face. Pull out the old guitar, strike up a tune. Let your light shine out with a chord and a shout bounced off the moon. Everything that falls to the ground busts a rise to the sky. And you are the air and the wind and the salt and the tears we cry. And so I'll sing it for you one time dance, wherever you may be. Your favorite song. And I lead you on where you may be.